Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus and America too. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses and a boyfriend too. Dum 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 dum. And it's a long day living in Rosetta. There's a freeway running through the yard. I'm a bad boy, 'cause I don't even miss her. I'm a bad boy for breaking her heart. Yeah, I'm free. Do-do-do-do-do. Free falling. Do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, I'm free. Do-do-do. Free falling. Do-do-do-do. Good morning, fellow billionaires. We are free falling in the markets, in metals. It's getting crazy. Tombstone 10-ounce nugget. That's all right. We're going to roll with the punches, and we're going to shop until we drop. Now, I know you guys have been shopping all week, and I had mentioned as much. Hopefully that you guys were able to take advantage of the great sale they've been giving us in the COMEX and the Treasury and the Fed, working together to try to soothe these capital markets. Well, actually trying to bleed off some of the badness, but trying to control the metals markets. Let me get this thing here moved. Yeah. Trying to control the metals markets because this thing it's really starting to burn stuff to the ground in the background. You guys don't know about what's going on with the bond market and all that stuff. We're going to talk today about things that cause volatility. We're going to round out the series on things that cause volatility. But we're going to thank Mr. Petty, Tom Petty, God rest his soul. And yeah, because I like to draw on him every once in a while. You know, not like the most soulful vocalist out there, but the guy's achievements in music just can't be understated. You know, it started out with the Traveling Wilburys way back when. It was a super group out of Britain and the United States with a bunch of big names in it and stuff. And of course, the Heartbreakers later on. And there's some great videos and stuff through in the 80s. And Tom Petty, man, a songwriter, a singer, a vocalist, entertainer, one of the greats. You know, probably understated, but the man knew his stuff, could write a good song, and I like singing his stuff. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna miss him, but you know, like a lot of great stars, he's gone now, and we will roll with those punches too. All right, so we have a lot of videos in the past. In fact, I think we did Running Down a Dream one time. This is back when I was doing broadcast in the afternoon, by the way. So yeah, believe it or not, the singing was a little bit better in those. You know, seeing how I didn't have to worry about waking up my neighbors in the wee hours of the morning like I do now. So anyway, that's my basic strategy, is just to try and mix up the selection a little bit to keep the lineup pretty random. Okay, just to keep stuff fresher. You know, with the morning tune. You know, just keep them simple and silly and fun. You know, look, here's the thing. You know, we're going through this pandemic, and we're limited as to the things we can do. We don't have a lot of social outlets. So I'm just trying to do stuff that other guys aren't doing on their channels. I'm trying to provide, you know, a little bit of levity. You know, there is some degree of corniness to it. Let's not fool ourselves, okay? But you know, everybody needs, you know, something a little goofy in their lives. You know, whether it's a silly song or whether it's, you know, a joke, or you know, just kind of laughing at some of the things that we're forced to do. The ridiculousness of ridiculousness, so to speak. Like Obama says, the audacity of audacity. Anyway, so we've got some things here, this selection and stuff, and I want to talk about silver real quick, and I want to tell you the feeling, I want to share with you guys the feeling I get when I get to bless my fellow brother and sister stackers with free silver. And I'm saying this because yesterday I finally made it to the post office and I mailed out all those giveaways we had. Well, it wasn't all those giveaways. It was 2 giveaways to 2 very lucky stackers out there. P-Town Stacker won the first place prize, which was the Tuluvian Blackbeard Black Flag Queen Anne's Revenge coin with the 2 1/10 ounce Somali elephants that were in tow with that. And then, of course, Fire Trace that won the 1984 Englehart Prospector round. You know, got to chat with them a little bit on the email, and I sent those things out. Toot sweet, so they can get their loot and get those things into circulation. Just kidding. We're not going to circulate them yet. We'll do that later. But anyway, yeah, it made me feel really good to do that because to me, to be able to share your silver in a way that's beneficial to both people. I'm not, look, I'm a little bit of a capitalist. I'm not completely benevolent, but I mean, the thing is, I do really enjoy you guys tuning in. I enjoy you guys, signing up, subscribing and stuff, and helping me grow the channel. So that's my way of kind of giving back. All right. But to me, to give away this beautiful stuff here, the silver, whether it's generic, whether it's premium, whether it's, fractional, what have you, it is to me the ultimate expression of living richly. I really believe that. Even in programs like Dave Ramsey's 7 Steps, I'm pretty sure the 7th step in his 7-step program is to give it all away. I don't know if you guys caught that. If you go through all 7 steps. Now, I think step number 6 is to reach your goals. Okay, you reach your goals, and then once you reach your goals, step 7 is to give it all away, one way or another. Now, before you get any ideas about me giving it all away, give it away, give it away, give it away now. I do plan to give some away, all right? But not anywhere near close to all. I love my silver. I do. Well, maybe my descendants will get it all, depending on what's left. But the ideal scenario, of course, is to blow the bulk of it, on partying hardy while running around the globe, visiting with my stacker friends. Let's go ahead and flip one of these over so we can see Her Majesty. Whether you like her or not, it is part of the coin. And actually, from what someone told me about, this is the front of the coin. And this is the back. There's the front. Queen's on the front. Just like, with our presidents on the fiat change we use right now, they're base metal. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and leave that there like that. And you can take a look at it. And I'm going to tell you something. These Brumby horses, man, I think they're probably 30,000 minutes. I managed to get 30 of them, which is 0.01%. Let's see, 0.01% of the strike. And so that works very well for me. They weren't cheap. I think they retailed at the time around 37, 38, so they had a high premium on them. But I went ahead and grabbed them because, that's kind of what I'm doing nowadays, is trying to add stuff to my stack that I don't have as we head to these final days in our stacking efforts. I think it's our final days. I'll explain it later. All right, so anyway, I do still plan to give away quite a bit of silver over the next year or so, probably into 2022. I think 2022 will mark the end of it. I said I'm going to do it. I don't really care what the spot price is at that point. I'm going to be giving away silver throughout the entire year of 2021, okay? And yeah, you'll see, and I'll do it on all the channels I broadcast on, whether it's going to be me and Silver Joker's channel, whether it's going to be my channel, or, if I happen to do a guest broadcast on this channel and a GAW happens to fall into there, I'll give some away on there too, But if you haven't heard by now, speaking of the future, you probably know about the collaborative effort that me and the Silver Joker are doing, okay? And it's a program that's going to be ongoing. And it will basically allow us to enhance each other with our different stacking experiences, skills, abilities, with the winners, of course, being you guys. So in case you did not know, we're also doing, in that effort, an epic giveaway for the name that you guys will pick out for us. So now how does that work? Well, originally, we were going to, draw from the comments in our pilot video that we had posted here, I think, last week or earlier this week. But after receiving an avalanche of good ideas, it was decided that we would move to having the submissions sent to our P.O. boxes, okay? Excuse me. So the contest is still on, and the giveaway is still alive. With just that minor change we're doing in the conditions. So whenever you're viewing the Silver Joker, you'll find his P.O. box in his bio, and I'll leave my P.O. box in the description below today, and then later in my bio. The contests will continue on for a bit. Once we start this thing, it will continue on for a bit. And then, after an undetermined amount of time, we'll draw from what we consider to be the top 5 names that we'll receive in our P.O. boxes. This is my understanding of it. And then choose a winner from those. That's what I'm talking about. So we'll choose 5 names, or 5 names for our channel. Top 5 names from our channel. And then you guys will choose the winner. You guys will choose the winner out of the 5 that we present. And so that's the way that's supposed to go. And then once we get that winner, we're going to make it rain silver to celebrate. Now, it probably will be more than just one prize. We'll have some honorable mentions, and I'm sure there'll be some giveaways for those folks too. All right, but this is just beginning, guys. It's just beginning. This is, part of our way of our silver ambassadorship, me and the Silver Joker. I'm sure you're doing your own out there too. And that's the way it's going to go down. So hopefully you guys will be receptive to that, and it'll work out, and it'll turn into this great thing that we can all enjoy, laugh about, party over, and make memories with. Okay. Okay. So let me see if I can move on to our topic today. Oh, and I wanted to tell you, man. Working with the Silver Joker, I'm learning about the nuances of YouTube, and this has been quite an experience. I'm understanding now how undermanaged my channel has been. If you guys seen my channel, if you looked around, poked around, it is so raw. I don't have any information up there. I just started putting up videos. I didn't really think much about, the management of the channel. So I plan to spend this entire weekend getting it up to snuff. So prepare for a bit of improvement next week. Just a bit, not too much. All right, so we've gone through the horses here, the Brumby horses. We've talked about those, and we talked about the potential giveaways in the future. So we're going to go ahead and continue cruising over these as we look through the markets. All right, so markets today, markets this week have been nutso. And of course, as you know, the euro has gotten absolutely pummeled, and as a result, the dollar is well into a 94 handle now, which is the highest the dollar's been in a while. In fact, the dollar right now is up 2 basis points at 94.47, which is very good for the dollar and very bad for euro. I think the euro right now is in about a 116.4 handle, okay, or 1.164 handle, which is very low for what it's been. It was a 119 earlier this year, which is huge for a currency. It's a huge move for currency. So as a result, gold and silver were put down last night pretty hard. I hope you guys were able to catch the Asian session and buy some silver in the 21s. I think silver dropped into the 21s for an instant. Some of you bought in the 23s, some of you bought in the 24s. And ironically, 22 is the range that I started in back in 2013. So it's kind of like having been in a hot tub time machine to where I haven't really, made any changes in the last 7 years if you base my stacking on yesterday, for example, as my cost price average. Anyway, so right now stock futures are down a little bit. Well, actually, no, they just broke the flat line. Son of a gun. So, yeah, the Dow is at 26,706, up 22 basis points, which is hardly nothing. It's not even an asterisk on the percentages. And then, of course, the S&P 500 is right at the flat line at 42 cents up at 32.31. And, of course, the NASDAQ and the Russell 2K are all at the flat line right now, waiting to see what the day is going to bring. Now, Jerome Powell, he's still yakking and stuff at Congress, so that's going to have some bearing on it. I think Steve Mnuchin's going to get in there, all right? But they're going to fall into our category today, too. We're going to talk about those guys. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to our subject, and we'll integrate a little bit of market activity into this as we go along. But, you guys just keep in mind, there are going to be giveaways and stuff. And I just, want you guys to think about, the future. And you're thinking to yourself, man, later on, you're going to be thinking, man, I'm so glad I subscribed to this channel, the Silver 5150 channel, so I could have a chance at winning, a lot of free cool silver, because there's going to be a lot of cool silver to give away to you guys. But focus. Yeah, the free silver's great, but we're here to talk about volatility this morning. And better yet, to close out the week with our final segment of what the heck are the markets gyrating around like that for? Why the heck are the markets gyrating around like that? And that is the topic of the week. Now, this doesn't mean we're not going to have a show tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be such a crazy send-off for the markets. We're just going to talk about the markets tomorrow. That's all we're going to do. We're just talk about the markets tomorrow. But today we'll go ahead and finish up talking about volatility and the things that are causing it and the things that are actually causing it right now. So, a quick recap. On Monday, we poked fun at the money laundering scandal in international banks being reported as if it were a new thing. Please. Then on Tuesday, the dollar, we talked about that. And then yesterday, the high-frequency trading computers. Well, today we're going to point to what I think are the biggest single factors that generate volatility in our capital markets today. And those are the very institutions that claim to be the good custodians of our markets. And they are governments, commercial investment banks, central banks, and treasuries, and a complicit legacy media that dutifully reports the news as directed by those very outfits. Okay? Think about that. The media, they are very complicit in market volatility. Now, here are some examples of what I was talking about. Governments. So the U.S. government, for example, the U.S. government, via the Treasury, uses their own version of HFTs, remember the high frequency trading computers, to tweak capital market activity through an outfit known as, and if you've been watching my earlier videos, you remember these guys, the Presidential Working Group on Capital Markets. This is the plunge protection team we're talking about, y'all. And if you've listened to me over the past few months, you know good and darn well that I am not a fan. That should not be happening. Deep in the bowels in the sub-basement of the Treasury building lurks a small legion of Twinkie-scarfing, Monster Energy drink slurping computer whiz kids that keep an eye on the discrepancies in the market. And they spend their time putting out the fires in the various indexes. So, in the beginning, it's probably pretty slow going, I can imagine. But now, I bet they're all pulling their hair out, trying desperately, daily, to stem the tide of the very tsunami they helped create by constantly distorting free market activity with the help of the Fed, printing money and buying bonds and all this crazy stuff. Well, you know what? I say it's a good thing because they need to feel the heat. They need to feel the heat after, failing to see the light of what they were doing. And from Wikipedia, I'm sorry, this is from Investopedia, and I'm going to paraphrase this just to shorten it a little bit. But a sector of the investment banking arena is referred to as trading desk. So investment banking actually refers to one of their services as trading desk. Depending on the investment bank, trading desks are split up into two sectors, okay? In the four sectors. The four main sectors of trading desks are the foreign exchange market, meaning the Forex or currency market, the fixed income market, which is the bond market, the same thing. Then, of course, there's equities, which, of course, are stocks. And then our favorite sector, commodities. So each of these sectors can be further subdivided if necessary. For instance, fixed income or bonds is a very broad category. And I mean very broad. You guys got 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10-year, 30-year fix, everything that's related to credit and, interest rates and all that stuff. So very broad category. And can deal with anything from ultra-safe U.S. Treasuries to ultra-risky, low-grade company bonds, also known as junk bonds. Okay, now guys, listen hard on this one because this is where the Federal Reserve comes in. Let me clear my throat. This is going to be good. So look, since 2008, the Federal Reserve has been monetizing the debt in the United States to the tune of $12.1 trillion so far. That's how much the Fed's been monetizing. And this is what we know about. I have reason to believe that it's actually way worse than that, as we have gone on to monetize debt in other nations as well through various foreign aid programs and shadow banking programs. And you guys know what monetizing the debt is, right? When they say they're monetizing debt, let me give you an example. Monetizing debt is like you or I having 4 credit cards, each with $25,000 limits, then maxing them out. Then, when the bill comes due, telling the credit card companies that you're converting what you owe them into cash, and you plan to spend that as well. You absorb that. So as their eyes wobble around in their heads like flies fighting over rotten meat, thinking, what the hell did he just say? You divulge your grand plan to pay it all back to them in the year 2525, right? So you're going to take the debt that you owe them, you're going to proclaim it as cash, then spend it again and tell them, that's going to be okay, and that you plan to pay them at some later date where nothing will probably exist. Who knows? So does that not sound like junk to you? This is exactly what the Fed and other central banks are doing. They're buying anything that's not nailed down, packaging it into mortgage-backed securities, whatever they have to do, claiming it as, AAA stuff, and when it's all actually junk. And just to be honest, let's be honest with each other. A debtor nation is a nation if your GDP is less than your debt, then you are a debtor nation. That means any money that you print, any monetary financial activity that you engage in is debt-based, and it is junk. It's junk. I don't know what our rating is right now, but I'm pretty sure it's not in the A's anymore. You got AAA ratings, AA ratings, single A, and then on to B, C, and D. I think like Venezuela is D or F. But I can guarantee you we're not AAA anymore in the United States because we're a debtor nation. All right. So, just so you know, it's all junk, okay? Whether they try to call them treasuries or what have you, the bonds are junk. And, look, the central banks, they've been doing it all around the world for at least 10 years, and some have been doing it longer, okay? Some central banks have been doing it longer. Now, if you or I tried that, we would be in default, all right? And we'd probably end up in jail But what can I say? There's two sets of rules, one for them and one for us. And then there's my favorite, the media. The media, talking about creating volatility in markets, their influence on it. The media, both mainstream and financial. But you know what? I'm going to tell you what. Let's make it easy. Talking about the media and financial. Let's just go ahead and use an example. I mean, we could take a deep dive into how the media cherry picks some of their stories. But we're just going to go ahead and do something simple. Because, when they do that, by the way, when the media cherry picks their stories, they like to, omit certain facts and figures sometimes, skew the news a little bit, or even inject pure opinion, doing these op-eds and stuff that is devoid of any real data. But the biggest weapon in their arsenal, the media's arsenal, when it comes to creating volatility in the capital markets, is actually timing. That's right. Their biggest asset in influencing the markets and creating volatility in markets for the media is timing. To prove that point, let's harken back to the big storyline on Monday, where the newsreels and the 24-hour news cycles were all a BuzzFeed about the foreign commercial banks involved in cartel financing activity, right? Specifically money laundering. Let's get that in focus there. Specifically money laundering, okay? The money laundering part. Yes, big time money laundering going on. Do you guys know where the original data for this story came from? Because it came out Monday as if it were new news, remember. Now, we know that from this sort of bad banking activity, this stuff has been going on for decades, the money laundering thing. All right, talked about Scarface, on Tuesday, how they had all those bags of cash coming into that local bank. All right. This has been going on for decades, not just recently. But in this particular case, we're going to refer to the evidence revealed in investigations during the campaigns of candidates in the 2016 presidential race in the United States. This is where that information came from. So the information's been around for 4 years, but didn't seem relevant enough to bring back to the surface until this past Monday, just 10 days before the end of the third quarter, and the beginning of the new fiscal year that's coming up, right? And as a handful of market events designed to extinguish delinquent derivatives contracts begin to converge, talking about options expirations and all that stuff. We'll get into that at another time. We need a crisis. What do you got? Well, nothing, sir. For this old money laundering, they've got this old money laundering scandal from 2016. Well, by God, that's going to have to be enough. And that, guys, was the trigger. That was the trigger for this route we had this week. A 4-year-old subpar headline drawn up from the archives inciting a market panic this week to justify one last precious metal smackdown. Didn't see that coming, did you? You thought it was all about the equity markets and stuff. No, this whole thing we're experiencing right now, with the bonds not moving, but the currencies are moving, stocks are moving, precious metals and commodities are moving, but the bond market's not moving. That makes no sense unless it is an artificial hit job that's going on. And it's all geared toward getting the price of precious metals down so that these manipulating clowns that are in the COMEX and some of these investment banks and these bullion banks can get out of their short positions at a cheaper price. Because if they don't, it's going to cost them a mint. So they're using whatever kind of tools they can get with the help of the Treasury and the Fed to create contracts and sell them into the market. I think 1 billion contracts, a subscriber told me yesterday, it took them 1 billion ounces in one day, which is only, 800,000 to 400,000, 400 million to 800 million physical ounces mined per year. But yesterday in one trading day, they traded down 1 billion ounces just to get the prices to do what they're doing right now, which they're losing their grip on it right now. I think we're going to see tomorrow a snapback rally in metals. But this is all to get the price of precious metals down because this is the linchpin, okay? I'm telling you. You think that silver isn't the linchpin for all this mess? It absolutely is. Just take a look at the spot price this week. And remember, the first time that silver went to $50 was in 1980, okay? 40 years ago. And now it's a lot lower. $50 was the price of silver only for a short time in 1980. And it was during a spike of fear, but we're talking 40 years ago. I challenge anyone to find me any durable good of any kind that exists today, okay? And is at a 40% cost of what it was 40 years ago. Believe me when I tell you, you have your money in the right place, being invested in silver. And over the next 3 months, you'll never need to be reminded of that again. You guys wait. You wait until you see what happens in silver in the next 3 months going into the end of the year. So yes, find me something. I challenge you. Go ahead and put it in the comments below. Find me some durable good. Now, it can't just be any old thing, like a VCR, because a VCR you can get for like 12 cents. All right, I get it. Back in 1980, they were $12,000. But I'm talking about a durable good, something that we've been using over time, like a commodity, like pork bellies and corn and soybeans and, iron and copper and all that stuff. But tell me something that is 40% of the price today that it was 40 years ago. You have your money in the right place, trust me. So look here. I'm Silver 5150 telling you guys that your stack is not whack. It is not. It is the right stuff at the right time in the right place. Your stack is not whacking just 15 ounces to your name. It keeps you 99% ahead of the game. I gotta say, it felt good to send out all that loot to the winners of our giveaways yesterday, which means it's time for another giveaway. Aha, didn't see that coming either, did you? That's right. We have another giveaway set up for the benchmark of 3,750 subscribers. So that's about 1,000 subscribers away. All right. So at 3,750 subscribers, we are going to be giving away this mini capsule of Valcambi singles as the first prize, and this nice Paul Revere half-ounce silver round, as a second prize. So if you enjoy these kind of giveaways and you like this kind of content, please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and catch us in tomorrow's show, which will be a little later in the morning, by the way. Okay? The Friday show is always a little bit later in the morning, and we might have a special guest, we might not. I think it'll be just me tomorrow. I don't have anybody lined up. All right? But it should be the mother of all market wrap-ups tomorrow because of the crazy stuff that's been going on this week. So, tune in for that, and I thank you for tuning in today, by the way. So, but tomorrow, tune in for that, okay? God bless you guys. Stay safe and take care. So, 5150 out.